Wife cheated 6 months ago on a night out. She confessed the next morning and has made a lot of changes in her lifestyle, like cutting out alcohol and those friends with whom she used to hang out, as well as doing individual counseling. At first I wanted to work it out with her, but now I think I don't love her anymore, so it's futile to stay married. My issue is that it will be a shock to her and also a bit unfair, as she has been working so hard and she tells how lucky she is that I gave her another chance because she loves me so much. How do I approach the situation here? Working hard after infidelity is bare minimum. Don't feel bad that you don't want to settle for that. If the situation happened as stated and she made the changes, that's about the only time when someone can work through one case of cheating. However, forgiving her for this is definitely your decision and no one else's. One of the reasons I broke up with my ex-wife is because of something she did, though not cheating was in my opinion reprehensible. I tried to work through it but couldn't. When the time came I said, "Look, I really tried to move beyond what you did and I can't. It's not fair to me or you to keep going through this. We're doing more harm together than we would by separating." Those lifestyle behaviors she cut out are good for her long term anyway, regardless of whether or not she's still married to you. You've both been trying really hard to make this work, and the effort hasn't been wasted. At least you can end it knowing you gave it a decent shot. My only concern is that you say you think you don't love her anymore, but you don't sound completely sure. Have you thought about telling her you're not sure of your feelings for her anymore and seeing where the conversation takes you? Tell her that it is not working out like you thought it would. And that you cannot get past her cheating on you. Just be honest with her that you just can't get past it. Reconciliation is a gift and one that is not guaranteed. Many a betrayed spouse has tried to reconcile only to realize months and sometimes years later they can't do it. No shame in it. She brought you here with her choices and now you've made yours. She may not like it, but she has to respect it. Unfair? Hell no, my man. You giving her a chance is more work than she did. Don't feel bad. This sub makes me so nervous of what my spouse could easily hide from me. Why am I still in this sub? This sub just breeds insecurity, man. It will be a shock to her. You mean like it was a shock to you that she rode some other dude's dick? Do what's best for you and move on. Edit. You might want to look at this. Friend, told my boss I have a drinking problem. Title says it. I've been struggling with alcohol for a few months and confided in my best friend about my troubles. On Friday, my boss pulled me aside and told me that my friend came to her and told her I have a drinking problem. Luckily, my boss doesn't think less of me, but it was humiliating to have this talk with her. I confronted my friend and she said she did it because I was spiraling out of control. I am not spiraling, nor am I out of control. I haven't missed a day of work and I am in school part-time. She never apologized and I ended the friendship. I feel so betrayed, but she won't acknowledge what she did hurt me and could have potentially wrecked my career. She has never approached me with worry or concern about my drinking. I just honestly don't know what to do. Any advice would be great. Why does your friend know your boss? Is your friend a coworker? She was never your friend to start with. She knew what she was doing by telling your boss. That is why she did not apologize. At the end of the day, you keep your job and you got rid of a fake friend. So that's that. Cheers. Have you ever showed up to work drunk? Is it affecting your job? If not, then this is not your friend's business or place at all. If you work in politics, I imagine there's some competition. Could she be jealous? This sounds like she wanted to take you down. If she was a real friend or truly concerned, she would have confronted you first. She sounds like a truly awful person and I wouldn't give her a second chance. She won't acknowledge what she did hurt me. She won't acknowledge it because her intention was to hurt you. She wanted to get you fired and watch you spiral and fall further into your drinking problem. Obviously, she's not going to admit to being an unhinged sociopath. Your friend is a busybody who thinks she can get ahead in her life and career by stepping on others. It works sometimes, to some extent, but not the way your clumsy friend did it. That kind of crude backstabbing is just going to bite her in the ass because she'll get a reputation for being a gossip, trying to take shortcuts, and being untrustworthy. You're better off distancing yourself from her, both for private and professional reasons. Block and ghost her for nearly getting you in trouble. And then attend an AA meeting. She was never your friend. If she thought there was a problem, she should have said something to you, not gossip with your boss. Keep her out of your life. Karma will catch up to her. Go to AA. Return to this thread when you've had time and space to deal with the real issue, your relationship with alcohol. Strangers on the internet can't make an honest judgment from one person's side of the story. Even if we tell you that you are right, you still need to get help. Focus on that. Being upset with your friend just isn't as important in comparison. Wishing you all the very best. My 37 per meter wife, 33, F. wants an abortion after trying to get pregnant for 4 years. 4 years ago we decided to stop birth control, and if it happens, it happens. About 2 years ago she started her dream job as an intern, and 1 year ago she got hired. We've been having sex during every ovulation for 4 years, and finally she got pregnant. Her first reaction is that she wants an abortion because she wants to advance at work. She wants to start trying again in 2 years. I'm totally devastated since we've been talking daily the past year about starting a family. We even moved into a bigger house and dedicated a room as a baby room. I'm worried we will not even be able to get pregnant again. She tells me not to be sad, but I'm questioning everything about us now. I really don't know how to handle this. You can take care of the kid and be a stay-at-home parent for a few years while she advances at work. Then once everything's settled you can go back to work. Why don't you try this? I feel like it would work great for both of you. Her telling you not to be sad is a major issue. If she wanted to advance at work, when she started her dream job a year ago, she should have said she wanted to go back on birth control. Have you offered to step up and take on majority of childcare? What would be the plan if you both moved forward with pregnancy? If there is no care plan, postponing may seem like her only option. Not arguing one way or another, just telling a story. My best friend from college and his wife tried for many years to conceive but couldn't. Meanwhile, wife made strides at work. They finally got pregnant much like you and your wife, but she chose work over family and aborted. It tore them apart. They tried to get pregnant 2-3 years later with no success. He was resentful for obvious reasons, and thus she became equally resentful. They divorced just before their 10th anniversary, and both are still childless to this day. She's been remarried and divorced a second time since, and my best friend remains single and miserable to this day. We all have to make choices and prioritize things in our life. Just be sure you're able to live with the consequences. That's all. I consider this a legitimate deal-breaker in my opinion. She is within her rights, of course. But her sudden reversal is extremely unfair to you. You've been planning this for a while now. Additionally, at 35 or later most women have significantly more trouble getting pregnant, plus the risk of Down syndrome increases. People sometimes point to older women having babies now, more than ever before. What they are not seeing is these women are using donor eggs, fertility treatments, or eggs that were frozen for a future use. Sorry you are going through this. There won't be any winners in this one. Talk more. Ask her if she's scared about being a mother. Offer to stay home and take care of the baby so she can go work. If you both want children, I think you could be running out of daylight. Even with IVF, etc., there's no guarantees you will conceive again. I suggest counseling and some heartfelt discussions and analysis before making a decision. You both need to be fully in, as much as possible, with your decision and understand the consequences of each. Just my 2 cents. It took you guys 4 years for her to get pregnant, and she thinks that she's gonna get pregnant all of a sudden if you try in 2 years. I think it's time to reevaluate your marriage. Help for an old guy. I am a widower who is approaching 80. My wife died about a year and a half ago. We were married for over 50 years and I miss her very much. I live in a large retirement community and I recently received a note from a woman who lives here who told me she is done with me. I barely know this woman. We have had dinner twice. Once I was assigned to a table where she was sitting, and once she asked me to have dinner with her. I accepted. I suspect now that was a mistake. I am not ready for a new relationship and, frankly, I doubt I ever will be. I think about my late wife every day. Sometimes I think about her every hour. I do not believe I am depressed. I can carry on with my daily life pretty well actually. I keep busy. I have family in the area and I see them often. I manage my own affairs and I have other friends. I just do not want to deal with a female companion. I have been thinking of answering her note as politely as possible, explaining my situation, but I do not want to give her any hint that I am trying to start a relationship. I just want to say I am sorry if I offended her, but I meant no harm. It is just that I intend to go through life single from now on. Should I do this or should I just ignore the letter and hope she goes away? I think if you address her with what you've said here, it'll clear everything up perfectly. How you're not ready for a relationship and not sure if you ever will be. Simply apologize for the confusion, that you didn't intend to lead her on or realize that you had done so. I think that should satisfy her bruised ego and keep things as they should be for you. As a 63-year-old guy who has been married and divorced twice and never intends on marrying again, I may be qualified to answer this. First of all, my sympathy for the loss of your partner of over 50 years. You owe no one any explanations. You sound like a nice man who just wants to live your life in peace and quiet without any further entanglements. You can absolutely say nothing at all if you choose to. But this is what I would say. I am sorry if I somehow gave you the wrong impression, but I am still grieving the loss of my wife of over 50 years, and quite frankly I am not interested in any relationships with anyone else. However, good luck with your search for a new partner. Take care and God bless. I guess the silliness never ends no matter how old you are. Unfortunately, drama queens rarely give up their crowns. As with the other commenters, though she hardly deserves it, go ahead and write her a brief note. It's no guarantee it will quell her indignation, but at least you will know you tried to smooth things over. My guess is you aren't the first person she's treated this way. My very best to you. I'm sorry you lost your wife. I wouldn't ever be able to think of another woman after being married so long. She was a lucky lady. As a relatively rare single 80-year-old man, you might be the fixation of many desperately lonely old women. This loneliness and lack of companionship can make women, and men, get to very strange places in their heads. She may have imagined much more to the 2 dinners than you experienced, perhaps imagining a failed or jilted courtship. I'm guessing that in her loneliness she obsessed about you and grew to be hurt that you didn't return her feelings. Woman who lives here who told me she is done with me. She's given you her answer. Unless she asks questions or starts to put a move on you or something like that, just drop it. Not worth your time or effort and would likely only make things worse. Unless maybe something is so weird, off it needs fixing. So, probably just leave it, her. Whatever causes you the least amount of drama. Say nothing, she did say she was done after all. Or at most, send a note telling her she misread your accepting her dinner invitation. Try not to stress too much, she'll get over it. I'm really sorry you got the wrong impression. I am very happy on my own and the dinners were nothing more than just eating my dinner. I wish you well.